Quick question. So what does healthy look like to you? Like if healthy walked by and said, hey, my name is healthy. Hey, boo, how you doing? What would healthy look like?
It wouldn't be a specific gender. It would just be a whole walking muscle.
If healthy this is a physical therapist and associate director at 1-to-1 physical therapy. I've seen those. I've been a few of those. I know a few of those.
We are everywhere right now.
Yeah.
20 of us, 20 locations all around the 4 boroughs. Not the Bronx yet, but we're in 4 boroughs.
There's no reason to go to the Bronx.
No, there's all the reasons to go to the Bronx. We in pain too. We always get that
We're
treatment.
working on that.
Thank you.
We're gonna be there soon.
Thank
We're gonna be there soon.
We're going to be there. AD like y'all to open one across the street from him.
They got 17 in Brooklyn alone. And we like, ain't got nothing in the Bronx, man. Sorry.
It's like we all over except the Bronx. Y'all in Staten Island?
Yes, we are.
Oh, see?
Hey, y'all got no love.
You next, though, AD. You next.
Yeah,
I promise.
Whatever, man.
You can scout a location. Start scouting locations.
You find me a spot, I'll make it happen.
We like, there's a bodega right here on the corner.
Yo, second floor of the bodega be official.
Recognizing how we can modify certain things to make sure that what you want to do functionally, you can still do. And then just taking care of yourself, warming up, stretching, icing. Ice is like the most important thing that everyone neglects. No one wants to do, especially on my Haitian patients. They don't want to put any ice on anything. They're like, no
Haitian
ice.
patients?
That's what I'm saying. He's talking about his people there.
B. Haitians don't believe in that, fam.
Like, I'm going to catch a cold in my knee. And I'm going to get my knee cold. And I said, look, it's not about that.
It's
gonna
bad
help
for my
you.
bones.
Yes, they always say that to me. All of them. And I'm like,
cold,
I get it. I understand it. But one of the things that does help is ice. Because heat, everyone loves heat.
Yeah.
But heat does nothing for pain. There are no pain receptors that are attracted or affected by heat at all. It makes you feel good. It brings blood flow to the area. You feel nice when you get out the shower, like you had said earlier.
I love me a hot shower.
You love the shower. But once you get out the shower, and you should stretch after the shower because everything feels nice and warm. In terms of pain, heat does nothing for pain. The pain receptors you still have, you will have after you get out the shower as well.
So so the cold does something to the pain receptors?
Ice does a direct correlation. Those C fibers directly correlate to reducing pain receptors and reducing your pain. That's why
I thought it was just a cool. I thought it was just a cool looking thing when you see the guy getting out of the ice tub. Like,
when I was in college, I ice bathed after every single track meet I did.
I thought that was a lie. I really didn't believe that. I really thought it was just like because the other side of it is, the hard thing about all this health and fitness things sometimes, and the reason why this podcast exists, is because there's so many this study says, that talk about it, but you're saying that it directly affects.
Those are facts, right?
So what about icy hot? Like things like icy hot.
Icy hot is topical.
It doesn't go in the bones?
No, it's all superficial. It's all going to help, again, with
I'm just saying, because
think
about it,
it don't penetrate.
I'm just saying, because that's what they tell you.
Put some tussin on it. No.
But think about it. There's all these topical things like the Tiger Balm. I'm Trinidadian. Everybody got Tiger Balm.
Right. And I thought the same thing too in high school because everybody was putting Tiger Balm and icy hot and these things on your legs to make things feel better. And in your mind, you say, I do feel better. I feel the hot. I feel the ice. But at the same time, it wears off. Like anything that you put on yourself topical, at a certain point in time, it does wear off because it's all superficial.
So you need to soak in some ice.
Ice is the best thing.
He was just like, I'm stretching right now. And I was just like, bro, you can stretch over there, man.
You can't hold the machine while you figure out what you about to do.
Yo, I got so frazzled that I just looked at him and was like, never mind. And I just walked off with my client. But it was like I wanted to snatch him off the equipment.
I found the perfect song.
Go for it. Yo.
I was looking for it.
What?
When you dealing with people at the gym and you don't want them around.
Yeah, I wanted to hit him with a rock bottom.
Perfect song, right?
Yeah, I wanted to DDT this dude.
But there's a couple. Okay, what about you? What do you think? If Healthy tapped you on the shoulder, what would Healthy look like?
If Healthy was like, hey, boo, it would look like, I agree with Monique, like the way you feel inside and how you perceive yourself. But I think also you could have diabetes and think you look great, but your body isn't feeling great. So I think it's also, engaging in mental health practices, thinking about self-care, what does that look like in, our society nowadays? I think even the way you engage in, social media usage, that's all taking into account healthy and your holistic perspective on yourself.
Okay. So, let me see. Really quickly, what are the stereotypes of plus size individuals? Like, what are some stereotypes that they say about them as a demographic? Yeah, like if somebody's plus size, what do people automatically assume?
I think they assume that they don't like fitness or they don't like to work out or that they don't care about their body. Like I think the stigma with plus size people in general is that they are that size because they did it to themselves and we should have no sympathy for it, or just that's
Cause beauty is her name. I'm so excited to bring to you, if you are hailing from New York, this is definitely somebody that you are like excited about, that you think is amazing because she's representing New York. What the fudge? You gotta clap it up. We gotta bring in show some love for Genesis Suero. Am I pronouncing that last name right?
Suero, correct.
Suero. I was trying to put the little in it. You know, sometimes people do that and it's just bad. Let me just stop failing at this life. But yes, so glad to have you on, Genesis.
Thank you for having me, Chanel.
Oh my goodness. And you are every bit as like sweet and gorgeous as you look on stage.
Thank you.
No, because you just have so much personality. You're so vibrant. I mean, she has such good energy.
Yes, I was born in the Dominican Republic.
Awesome. So now that you're in New York, so where did you head to when you got to New York? I'm just curious.
Well, I came to Brooklyn.
That's right.
It's
I was waiting
New
for her to say it.
Brooklyn, go hard.
Yes, you know. See, no matter what, if you live in Brooklyn, you just end up with that pride from Brooklyn. You could be from wherever, but the moment you fully get yourself situated in Brooklyn, you're like, I'm from Brooklyn, you know.
I agree. Even that I also have a little bit of Harlem because I live in Harlem now.
Oh, so you went uptown.
Yeah.
I found you on there, and I was like, wow, she's really into like fitness and working out. And I think sometimes we think when people have smaller frames, it's just natural, it's genetic, and it might very well maybe, but they're like, oh, there's no need to work out. You can eat whatever, and you're gonna just stay slim, but you still stay fit and then still value fitness. So, what role does fitness play in your life, like working out?
Well, you need to have a very healthy body. You only have one body, so you need to treat it right.
Yes.
It's the body that carries you around. It's the body that provides you energy. And you need to feed your brain. Your brain needs to exercise. And you also need to eat healthy. If you don't eat healthy, you're not going to feel good. Like, for example, when you put bad gas to a car,
Yes.
your engine
It's just gonna.
it's not
gonna run the same
Yeah,
way.
it's not going to run the same. So it's like when you stay at home, like a couch potato, and you go to the gym, you're actually functioning better. And you have a lot of energy. I have a very, very busy life and a very, very busy schedule.
Yes.
So when I go to the gym, I feel like a brand new Genesis.
Oh, see, so there you go, right from the beginning.
And I encourage everybody to work out.
Everybody to work out. So I think that's a really good way to look at it. This is the first artist, non-fitness, complete like fitness medical trained expert. This is somebody that just knows what they're doing, but they also have a background in fitness. They come from a lineage of fitness. Singer, content creator, music and image consultant, hails from New Jersey, has shared the stage with artists like T.I., Sierra, Sean Paul, mad other people, and it's just a really bomb person. So give it up for the homie. Lee Charm in the building.
Give it up.
Next, but yes, let's give a round of applause.
Yo, what's
for the
up?
homie.
Welcome.
What's up? Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Like, it's exciting.
So the big thing is you are in like impeccable shape, man.
Well,
You have like no waist. Like where did you?
Your facts, big.
You just brought
Well,
nice.
See, that has given me anxiety because
That taper.
it was something that I never thought about. You know,
Okay.
it's just like, okay. Then people are like, yo, where's your waistline at? And I start looking like, you know what?
What's the
my
inches?
waistline is small. But technically, I go between a 29 and a 30. The smallest I've ever gotten is a 28. 28 is where I shoot at.
Wow.
So when I'm at 28, I'm shooting. But
In traveling, like, do you really watch your diet? Because I know for me, that's always the hardest part. When I'm out of town, I want to eat whatever is authentic to the neighborhood.
Right.
I want the homegrown spots.
Right.
I want anything that's a chain that I can get in New York. So do you eat like when you're on the road, like
See,
healthy?
Traveling for me is actually easier to stay on it because it depends where you go. Let's rephrase that. It depends where I go. If I'm going to an island where the food is great and the beans and rice are
It's super
amazing,
fresh,
then I'm
yes.
sitting here like, okay,
You gonna eat them
like
beans and
this,
rice?
this is crazy right now. But if I'm going to like Europe or something like that, where I'm like, I don't know what this is, then I'm like, let me just eat a salad. That's the safest thing. And a lot of places don't put the same things that we put in our food.
Right.
Like, I always said this, and I don't know if it's my imagination, but other people have agreed. Like when I go out to other countries, when I eat the food for like, say if I'm over there like a week or two, my body feels different. Like my brain is open. I feel energetic. I'm like, you know what? Maybe like this like GMO stuff is real, and so
I think it is.
Yeah, it definitely
for a
is.
fact.
It definitely is. But you know, America has the best tasting food, like hands down.
Because we like are so industrialized in the sense that we chemically make everything. I mean, from bullets to like bread. You know, like
I know how to make you want this burger. I'm gonna put this little chemical balance formula in here, and now you're gonna be addicted to fries. So it's like it's
dimethylpolysiloxane. I actually know that because I had to write a poem for something, and I wrote it about McDonald's. So I looked up the ingredients, and I was like, "What the fuck is that on that French fry?"
It's so crazy you bring that up because I was listening to, I get into the podcast thing too. It's like we just don't do it. We also listen, right? And I remember there was a difference between the old fries from McDonald's and the new fries, and it was that there was an original chemical that was in the oil that they got rid of.
Right, and they don't taste as good anymore.
And they don't change it. Yeah, not at all.
I thought the same thing. I like Wendy's fries now.
Yeah, because remember,
Wendy's had the worst. We talk about fast food,
Wendy's had the worst fries.
Yeah.
Those joints was garbage.
That was like cardboard.
Cardboard.
and oil.
Right.
But now, like, Wendy's like, you know what, this actually tastes like a potato.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
But that's what they said. They're like, that's how they marketed it. All natural potato, like natural,
fresh, never
Idaho.
frozen.
Right. From my house.
right. Like they really went to a butcher shop. Like, it's game and all of it. But it's like, fitness is like this. It's like it's all choices. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to make the best. You're not gonna be able to do absolutely what's true to what you should be doing. It's just about making the better choice.
Right.
Mainly like being on the go. The hardest, like you said, the hardest thing is when you're traveling. I don't book a hotel that doesn't have a gym or at least like 5 or 10 minute walk from a gym.
Got you.
That's
Never.
smart.
So because that's the quickest way to fall off, and people are waiting.
Right.
You've been on this path for a while right now. Like, he going to fall off. And I'm like, I'm not going to give you the liberty. I'm going to be 80 years old still pushing these here weights.
Them haters is waiting for you.
Well,
they waited.
Speaking of like,
in Jersey and New York, there's definitely a culture of people who work out. It's definitely a cultural thing. And it's not a black, white, Spanish thing. It's just a culture of gym people. Like, you have to be drawn to it. Because, like, a lot of people, ask, they're like, so what makes you go? It's a part of my identity now. You have to be drawn to it. Because other than that, you're never going to really work out. Because let's be honest, we beating ourselves up every day.
Yeah, that's
at least 5 days a week.
So did that actually, like, seeing your dad do that growing up, was that part of what got you into it? Because you said you didn't start doing really lifting until 24.
Yeah.
Prior to that, what were you doing any of it?
Nah, that made me look like I'm never gonna be like that. I'm never gonna do that. Like, like seeing them, because my mom actually did it for a while with him too, and she like that black girl magic. Like she got the guns.
The shirt.
Right. See,
says we can and we will black girl magic.
Right.
On my shirt. That's my shirt for the
day.
And
happens to be
she got guns and got really ripped.
Pink and green.
Right.
You peeped it.
Happened to be pink and green. Yeah, just maybe. But yeah, so your mom was into it. Your dad was into it.
And I remember there was a time where they would we had a gym downstairs and they would go downstairs in the basement and train.
Gotcha.
And it was my dad described it as an addiction, and I can relate to that as well.
She's all about the bass. She got the bass, no trouble, and make it ring. So but she's been making so many different ways. I know it probably I can. From knowing her for this long, it started off as just something she kind of had as a hobby, and it just spun and spiraled into something amazing, into another movement per se, So with her website, runningfatchef.com, we have Latoya. What do you want to call yourself?
Latoya Shantae Snell, Tay, Toys, autocorrect.
I was supposed to say, we got Latoya up in the house right now representing. Welcome, Latoya.
Hey.
About to represent Rock It Out. How are you today?
I'm fabulous, man. I mean, just taking it easy.
Word.
Yeah. I mean, can you tell us a little bit more about like the brand Fat Running Chef that you've been pushing in your many different ways?
Running Fat Chef.
Running Fat Chef.
Yeah, no worries. Please.
I'm gonna get it right. Running Fat Chef.
Fat Chef. I got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm finding myself Google searching all these things that I'm experiencing, and adding on the layer of, I mean, because don't get me wrong, I did lose the weight. I lost in my first year. This is how I went from weight loss journey to essentially a fitness journey. I got tricked into running.
Me too.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Like, how did that end up happening? Because that's not your standard, choice. Obviously running is an effective form of cardio.
Yes.
But, like, if you're a bigger girl, man, that's not necessarily the one thing you're going to go to immediately.
Most people don't. Like, I mean, like, people, it was so many layers for me. And that's essentially why I utilized the platform so much. With being an African-American plus-size woman, there's so many layers that I'm pretty much tackling, and I used my platform to do as such. As an African-American, I'm a product of, I'm an 85 kid. I'm an 80s baby. Hey. And the only thing that you ran for in my area of Brooklyn was gunshots. So
the party done.
Yeah, so the idea of actually running, I was like, fuck that noise. I'm not doing that. Right. So it took it's crazy. Like, I've known this guy for, I can say 15 years. I haven't met him. He is an open micer actually in London. And he's in a relationship with this woman named Kat Francois. She's awesome. And we've been friends on MySpace. He signed up.
Wait, hold on. Sorry.
MySpace.
She said MySpace.
You know I took it back.
Goodness.
She was dialing up.
That's like net zero the CD.
That's the
era
AOL,
of,
baby.
That's the era of please don't call me. I'm on the internet. I'm gonna get kicked off.
Yeah.
So you became friends on MySpace.
Became friends on MySpace. Had a really good friendship. Brought it over to Facebook, and he put on there one day, I'm signing up for a half marathon. Through him, I never ran a day in my life. I tell in every interview, I always say I only ran for the ice cream truck. And that's as far as I kept it. And that's a true story. I ran 7 months pregnant for the ice cream truck in high heels. And my ice cream man legitimately said, if you will stop running for me, I will stop by your house every day. And he did. He did. He stuck to his word. But because of that, it was a gift and a curse.
That's good and bad. That's a good and bad.
Don't get me started on
Shout out to Mr. Ice Cream Man. I'm saying I still love you. I don't care, even lactose intolerant and all,
and
which
everything,
is probably why I have runners trust.
There we go. Well, thinking about that, so one of the things is I don't realize I didn't even say what the title of the show was. The title of the show is Does Size Matter? Redefining what health and sexy looks like.
Yes.
Right? So we were talking about this idea of like healthy and how healthy looks differently.
Yep.
So thinking about that, what were your battles when it came to it? I know you talked about a lot of the self-talk, but what did you try other things? Was it just something that wasn't a thought? You're just like, yo, this is who I am. What did it look like?
It's weird because I mean I have been essentially in part of my expression. I have been the skinny bitch and I have been essentially the fat bitch. And it's like both sides. I don't think that both sides actually hear each other very well, and that's where I'm looking for that middle ground. It took a very long time to be comfortable with my skin, and it essentially took for me to get 10 pounds away from my goal weight to realize I was not happy with my body. Because a lot of people, they go out there and they say, hey, this ideal number is going to make me happy. Right. And the reality of it is that you lose all this weight and your mind hasn't caught up. There's layers like body dysmorphia, which is something that I went through, where every time I looked in the mirror, I was just kept seeing the 265-pound girl. And once I got to a point where I realized that, hey, girl, you can't be walking around here with a size 22 pants when you're a size 10, 12.
Right.
That's when I had my reality check of, holy crap, I didn't lose this for me. I lost this for everybody else. Right. And I had to go back into my journey, and that's how it transitioned from weight loss to fitness journey of trying to figure out where my happy was. I had to reevaluate the way I spoke to myself. I had to stop making puns at myself, because a lot of us do. We start to make jokes at ourselves because we're trying to beat everybody else to the punch, or we've heard it from everybody else about how fat we are. Put down that extra portion of food. Changing your relationship of how you allow others to speak to you. Yeah. And all of these layers, essentially I had to take a step back and look at myself as an outsider and say, what makes LaToya happy? And that's how I found myself and found my real voice, not just voice that made others comfortable. And that's how I ended up actually intentionally gaining some of the weight back. Now, I will admit I gained a little bit more cookies and cakes than I desired. But now I find that I'm much happier, and not only I'm happier, but I'm healthier. Along this journey, I realized that when I lost the weight and I got down to like 160, and I'm 5'3.5", and you have to throw the half in there because short lives matter. But it's
I'm
like,
I'm 5'5.5".
Hey.
I round up sometimes.
you have to, man.
I round
I'm
up all the
saying.
time.
It's real. Yeah, as a man, like like, no,
I'm
we
6
get
feet.
it.
I don't care what nobody tell me. I'm 6
You
feet.
are not 5'11".
Stop saying my numbers, man.
Oh, don't worry about it. There's a lot of 5'11" guys out there. But no, it's real. Like, it gets to a point where you have to change your inner dialogue.
So with you saying that, I remember, I was looking you up, when Chanel sent me your name and your info, and like I saw a picture of you where you had lost the weight, right?
Yeah.
And like, and I think even at that point you were still like probably $160 or something like
Yeah.
that. You looked great. I looked at it and I was like, all right, because I, as a trainer, I'm always telling folks, I'm like, don't worry about the numbers, it's about how you look, how you feel.
Look, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So once you got to that point and you saw that, when you were on your way back, where was your mind at that point? Meaning, like, because you'd been giving yourself all the talk about, I'm a big girl and I'm trying to get down.
Mm-hmm.
You got down, but you were still thinking like you were a big girl.
Yep. Still thinking I was a big girl.
So then what ended up happening in that transition then that ended up getting you back? Because it sounds like you were still like, I'm okay with it, but still kind of, there was still that fight. And I think that's an interesting thing because a lot of people go through that.
I went through rock bottom at that point. Literally, like around that point, I was still learning running.
Okay.
And I ended up getting like a whole bunch of health scares. And now I have an actual diagnosis of why I kept miscarrying, because that was one of the things I went through.
Oh, okay.
I went through a miscarriage, and I stopped counting after 4. I found out that I have, it's rough. I mean, and the thing is, those are the conversations that I bring to the platform, the things that we don't talk about, especially in the African American community. It's like these are the things that people kind of tell you, you keep it to yourself, or you keep it amongst your circle, and you don't talk about this on an open, you don't have open dialogues about these things.
It's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
And honestly, I'm like, why is everybody so damn secretive about it? Because, when it comes down to, like, my son's a type 1 diabetic, and they're saying that, hey, this is an autoimmune disease. When it came down to those things, I didn't know these things actually were prevalent in my family, but everybody is so secretive. My sister has lupus. It's to a point where I had to reevaluate myself. So I started going through rock bottom with my health, and I'm like, damn, I lost all this weight. And one day I looked in the mirror again, and I'm like, wow, my face is sunken in. I don't really have all the things that women typically are scared of. They're scared of lifting heavy. Oh, lifting heavy is going to make you look like a man and blah, blah. And I'm just like, fuck that noise. But like, it was to a point where I was just like, but yeah, now I look too small. Like it didn't feel like the frame actually fit me. So I'm like, where's my happy point? And my happy point was in lifting. And doing more calisthenics, incorporating things like yoga into my routine just to balance my mind. So at that point, at 160, that was probably the lowest I ever felt in my life. Wow. While everybody's telling me, you look great, I also had other people that's telling me, you look better when you were fat.
Yeah.
So
that is so crazy. You trying to do one, and then you got, you have the people that are like the naysayers that are kind of like,
but that's
you can't make anybody happy. That's what it ends up.
But that's what it comes back down to. You have to ask yourself, what makes me happy? Screw everybody else. Screw family, screw friends. I mean, their voices matter, but to a point. If you sit here, there's a saying, what is it? I comes before you. When it comes down to it, I comes before you. So if you are sitting here trying to appease everybody else, you will never, ever have that point where you'll be able to say, this is what I did for me.